If you want to share your spells, you may not just want to post a pool.pm link, because then there won't be any preview or any way for people to immediately see it. So you may want to be able to embed a video. And we're going to show you how you could record a video of your spells and sort of optimize it so that it works well. Now, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to need OBS. So we're just going to Google OBS, and the first result here is Open Broadcaster Software at obsproject.com. We're just going to download the one that applies to your operating system, and this is free for all operating systems, and it works really well it's used for streaming, but it also works really well just to record your screen and save the results. So once you have that, you will be able to open up OBS, and you'll have a screen that looks kind of like this, except it probably will be wide rather than a square. So one of the first things we want to change is make it into a square so that it fits the Wizard spells better. And we're going to go into settings, and we're just going to go to the video tab here, and make sure that this is 1080 by 1080. Now you can do any other square shape that you want, but when you type that in there, it's probably going to change this to a lower amount, and we just want it to be the full 1080 by 1080 in this case. So your base canvas resolution is the actual resolution of the screen that you are recording on, and then the output is what it's going to save out as. I think 1080 works fine for these spells. It's only a few seconds, so it's not a huge file size anyway. And we also do 60 frames a second, just because that creates a little bit of a smoother video file. You can do 30, and that looks fine. We're just going to do 60 here. We're going to hit apply, and then we're going to go over to the output tab. The output tab is where you can determine where it's going to save the video file. I just leave it into my videos folder, and then I mess with the files from there and put them where I actually want to save them. You can just change this to whatever you want by clicking browse. Now, recording format, I usually use MP4s. They make it nice and easy to share, and I usually just set the recording quality to indistinguishable quality with a large file size. And if I need to make it smaller or do any kind of compression, I do that later on. That way the source file is nice and good quality. Then that's basically all the settings you need to mess with. We hit apply or just hit OK, and we're going to have a square canvas here now. And now all we have to do is go open our Wizard spell. You can open it up on Pool, or if you watched our other video on how to save out a file, a .html file on your hard drive, you can do that as well. You can really just record any bit of your screen that you want to. So for now, we're just going to use Pool. We're going to put it into, well, first of all, before we put it into full screen, I'll show you this little handy tool here, Zoom. Now, every browser should have this. You can zoom in or zoom out, and it will change the size of things on your page. Using that, you basically have an infinite resolution for your file here. So we can go ahead and go into full screen, and we'll use the hotkeys to zoom in, which is Control+. On your keyboard, and we're just gonna, you can make it as big as you want. You could even have it go way off screen if you wanted, but what we're just gonna do is have it go right up to the edge of the screen. Now all we have to do now is we're in this window, and now we just go right back over to the OBS window, and we don't see anything quite yet. That's because we need to add a source. Now the source is going to be a window capture source, and that is going to default to the last window we had open. So since the last window was the Wizard spell back here, we're gonna name it Wizard Spell, or we're just gonna name it Spell, and we're gonna hit OK, and it's gonna default to showing us the window. Actually, it's showing us OBS, so it's showing us the wrong thing. So we're just gonna switch it to Wizard Spell. That's what we want to show there. And basically, we would just leave everything else as the default. We can uncheck Capture Cursor, because we don't really want the cursor to get in the way if we accidentally mouse over during the recording or anything like that. So we're going to say no capture the cursor and just say OK, and oh, now we're off center. All you have to do to fix that is select and then hit Control D or Command D on a Mac, and that is going to center that perfectly for you. So now we have the spell playing right in the center, and all we have to do is hit Start Recording. We want to hold the recording and let it go for a minute. Something I just forgot to mention was you may want to turn off your desktop audio and turn off your microphone, because these will just add to the file size, and we don't really need audio for this. If you do want to play some music in the background while you record it, that could be cool too. Then you would leave this on. But for now, we're just going to turn both of those audio captures off. And then we're going to hit start recording, and we're going to let it go for a few seconds there. Get a few good loops in. Now keep in mind that some wizard spells don't loop perfectly. They have different parts that move at different paces. So you want to get long enough in here so that you can find a good loop point if you're going to make a looping GIF out of it. But if you just want to show it off, you may just want to hold it for a minute or so and leave it at that, or less than a minute, but whatever you want to do with it. But we've had about 30 seconds here, and that's probably plenty to make a good GIF out of, and certainly more than enough to share just a quick demonstration of a spell. Now, we just hit start recording and hit stop recording when we're done, and all we need to do now is open the folder that we told you about earlier, which is this output folder here, and just go to that folder on your hard drive, and you will have the file, and it will show you your recording of your spell that you just did. And we'll just go ahead and make this a little smaller and play it back. And oops, that's not the one. That's the short little one we accidentally made at first. So we'll open this other one here, and that's the actual file that we had just made, which is about 30 seconds long. So there you have it. Now you have an MOV file that you could, or an MP4, depending on how you saved it, that you can now share on Twitter or on Discord, or that you could take and make a profile picture or avatar with. But we will show you a even better method for that in a separate video. Hope you enjoyed and hope you understood how to share your spells. And if you have any questions, make sure to hit us up in the Discord. Have a good one.